Apparently, Bitcoin is the future of money, but can you actually spend it? We live right here on the US-Canadian border, and we are on a mission to use some Bitcoin in real life. However, we're quickly realizing that there are some huge barriers to using this in our day-to-day life. It may have a $4 trillion market cap, but if you can't even buy a cup of coffee, then what's the point? Now, I've been traveling down the Bitcoin rabbit hole for the last few months, and we're gonna do whatever it takes to turn some Bitcoin into a real world item. And what we discovered along the way will either make you a believer or confirm your worst suspicions about the world's most valuable crypto. Now, if you're watching this video, I probably don't have to describe how Bitcoin works to you, but just in case, here's the 10-second version. Bitcoin is a digital, decentralized currency that runs on a public blockchain. And a blockchain is basically the form of a public ledger that is shared between thousands of computers across the world that all work together to record and verify transactions. Now, our first hurdle is real world adoption, because let me tell you, I don't think I've run into one place that says it accepts Bitcoin in the United States. You guys don't accept Bitcoin, do you?
No.
I'm looking for places that accept Bitcoin in Bellingham. It's not you guys?
No.
Okay.
Actually, we don't accept Bitcoin.
No worries.
Yeah,
That was on yourself.
I can help. Sorry.
Yeah, it's all good. Thanks. You guys don't take Bitcoin, do you? No. Okay. You guys don't accept Bitcoin here, do you?
Bitcoin?
Yeah. No, you don't. Okay.
The system we're on right now, like we don't take like CAP or American Express. So,
Oh, okay. Yeah. Right.
pretty different upgrade.
Yeah. Yeah. You need something else to really do that. Okay. Cool.
sure.
Awesome. Hey, thanks, man. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
You accept Bitcoin? You accept Bitcoin? Does anyone accept Bitcoin? But thankfully, we don't have to walk into random businesses and ask whether or not they accept Bitcoin, because there's a really helpful resource called btcmap.org. And the cool thing is this shows all the places across the world that will accept some form of Bitcoin. As you can see, there's quite a few over here in the Europe area. Now, if we zoom into our area, you'll quickly realize that there's actually not that many directly in our area that actually accept Bitcoin. In fact, this map shows only 2. There's actually one more that was on this map in our area, but I had it taken down, and you'll see why. So let's go check these places out. So I'm making a short video on Bitcoin. Do you guys take Bitcoin here?
No.
You don't? Okay.
Yeah, we're not set up to even think about doing that. So.
Okay, right. The only reason I come here and ask you is because there's something called BTC Map, which shows places that accept it. And then this store is listed on that site as one that accepts Bitcoin.
Do we take Bitcoin?
The internet says we did.
That's so weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, she just guess. Wow. But
Yeah, it's not in the portfolio stuff we take right now. Yeah.
Okay.
It's very interesting. There's been talk about there's some card games and stuff that are being fueled by it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's not anything we've ever dealt in before.
hey, thanks so much for your time. I appreciate it. Yeah.
Have a good one.
Yeah. Well, there you have it. Don't believe everything you read on BTC Map, because this place said they might take Bitcoin, but it looks like that they do not. Let's go check out one more place here in Bellingham. All right, so there's 2 other places that say they take Bitcoin. That's an Indian Grill and a Stombach Designs web design. Hey, Editor Joseph here with one quick thing that I realized later. So if you do look on some of these, you'll realize that all it says is last surveyed, but on other ones, it'll actually have payment methods where it will talk about different payment methods of Bitcoin that it takes. I think that's a helpful thing to know when using this resource, that if you click on something and it doesn't say payments accepted, then it probably doesn't take any kind of Bitcoin, and it was just added to the map as a merchant. So now you know. Back to the video. Says they take it. Looks like it's just around the corner here, so see if we can dig a little deeper into that or not. Oh, Walton Place too. So this is the address. Looks like it must be people that live here that might take Bitcoin. All right, 0 for 2. Let's check out this last place. Traffic. that is the India Grill. And as you can see, they're not going to be taking Bitcoin anytime soon. It's like they're all closed up. All right, well, so there you have it, 0 for 3. Looks like the only place that probably did take it, which was the web design one, doesn't have a physical store, which makes sense. And the India place was totally out of business, and the game store didn't know what I was talking about. So they were not aware of taking Bitcoin at all. So that was not correct.
Now, other than having so few places in our area that actually accept Bitcoin in real life, the next big hurdle comes with actually how Bitcoin is designed. Now, if you've done any kind of on-chain transaction, you know that the network is actually quite slow. In fact, blocks are only mined every 10 minutes, and your transaction might not be included in that most recent block. So it can take anywhere from 10 minutes up to even an hour to have your transaction verified, as well as fees that fluctuate wildly depending on how much usage the network is getting. So you can get a fee that's as low as a few cents, all the way up to $5, $10, even $50. Imagine buying a $5 coffee and the fee is $10, twice the amount of your coffee. That just doesn't work. Now, there's some good reasons for why Bitcoin is structured this way that we're not going to get into right now, but how is this going to work? Well, enter the Lightning Network. Now, if you haven't heard of the Lightning Network, it's basically a second layer that's built on top of Bitcoin. So think of it kind of like a sandwich. So think of Bitcoin as this sandwich, and the Lightning Network is basically, it's another layer that's built on top of the Bitcoin sandwich. Like that. I didn't actually need to use a sandwich analogy. It's pretty simple. I was just kind of hungry for a sandwich. But honestly, the easiest way to think of this is like running a tab at a coffee shop. Instead of paying on the blockchain for every single coffee that you buy, you and the coffee shop simply open a channel, like starting a tab. Payments are verified instantly for super low fees. And here's the cool part, you don't even have to have a tab with every coffee shop. Payments are able to hop through other channels on the network. And that's how Bitcoin becomes fast, cheap, and scalable. So I guess we really do need to go to Canada. Well, we're having to drive across the border to spend some Bitcoin. Go figure. But not just me. We're bringing the family to Canada. Yeah. All right, let's go. All right, made it on the road, got all the kids in the car. It's about a little over an hour until we get to the coffee place. We'll see if they accept Bitcoin or not. So here's the next biggest problem. We all remember the guy Laszlo Hanyecz. He's a programmer from Florida who made history because he was the first person to spend Bitcoin in real life, where he paid 10,000 Bitcoins for 2 Papa John's pizzas. That, of course, was a monumentous occasion. For true Bitcoiners, he's a cultural legend. He was the first person to get this ball rolling and to spend Bitcoin in real life. But of course, at the time, that was only worth $41, those 10,000 Bitcoins. In today's prices, that would be the equivalent of $1.24 billion. Ouch. Now, see, with fiat currency, you're really incentivized to spend it because it's always losing its purchasing power because of inflation. But with something like Bitcoin, it's deflationary because you can't print anymore. So the opposite is really happening. You see, Bitcoin really incentivizes people to hold it, to really use it as a long-term investment vehicle, which can kind of get in the way for widespread adoption and general use day to day. But I do believe that this volatility is going to stabilize as larger and larger institutions buy into Bitcoin. I'm talking BlackRock, Harvard Endowments, Michael Sayer's MicroStrategy, and even the talk of a Bitcoin strategic reserve for the US. And that's just talking about this country. And over time, that really will make it less intimidating for the general user. These two. 4.
We're going to Vancouver for the day. Sure, thank you. All right, you're all set. Take care. Thank you.
Great, thank you. All right, we made it into Canada. Crossed the border to spend some Bitcoin. Now, from my perspective, I think there's one last major roadblock to widespread adoption of Bitcoin, and this one can also be the most intimidating. But I think there's a relatively simple solution to it as well. Now, in the US and Canada, crypto is basically classified as property. And so when you sell or use it, there is a capital gains tax that's associated with it on any profit that has been made. Now, taxes and all this kind of stuff has always been super intimidating to people. But when it comes to crypto and tracking the price of it over time and what that capital gains tax is, that just seems almost impossible. Now, I'm not a tax advisor by any means or a financial planner or any of those things, so just keep that disclaimer in mind when you listen to any of this. Now, the two different methods that are used are either first in, first out, or specific ID. Now, the first one, first in, first out, is the default method, and that's the one that the government's automatically going to use if you sell your crypto to calculate your capital gains tax. That just means the very first crypto that you ever bought is the first that is sold. And if the first crypto that you bought was 5 to 10 years ago, then you're paying quite a steep capital gains tax. Now, the second method of specific ID means that you just have to keep a record of which batch of Bitcoin that you bought that you were actually selling. So if you record how much Bitcoin you bought and the price it was when you bought it, then it becomes relatively easy because all you have to do is just calculate the same thing on when you sell it. Now, there's quite a few different crypto tracking softwares that can do this for you, but of course, that just means another paid subscription in your life, and who wants that? I've actually found that it's relatively easy to track the specific ID method on a spreadsheet, and I actually created a spreadsheet that does a lot of the legwork for you. I'm going to include that in the description for free. And the other great thing about this method is you are tracking the crypto that you are selling. If you happen to sell a batch of Bitcoin that was more expensive than when you're selling it right now, it's actually considered a loss and there'd be no capital gains on that at all. It definitely pays to do this method rather than the other one for just a little bit of extra time. And I do believe that over time, as the rules and regulations for different governments get clearer, this is just going to get easier and is going to be a more simplified process that's not intimidating at all. Almost there. Should be coming up here on the left. I think it's right there. That's cool. So I have a question for you.
Yeah.
You guys take Bitcoin? Is that right? Great. Excellent. Fantastic.
Now, Honest Pete's Coffee Roaster was honestly a really cool place. We actually met Pete right as we walked in, and he was telling us how this is actually a bigger place that has like 40 different studios in this one space. And after talking with him for just a few more minutes, I knew I had to ask him a few more questions and just get his story and how he started using Bitcoin.
I'm Joseph, by the way.
Hey, Peter. Yeah.
Yeah, you're Pete, right?
Yes.
Okay, great. Excellent.
I've been roasting coffee for about 30 years. I started off just as I'm roasting for myself kind of thing. I come from a computer consulting background and just decided to step it up a little bit in the coffee side and see what could happen. My dad used to go to the Italian district and get fresh beans all the time, when I was in high school kind of thing. So it was always a good coffee in my house growing up. And then I got my first espresso machine in the early 90s and just sort of went from there.
So what was the point that you first started using Bitcoin in any situation? When did you get interested in that?
For the last 2 years, I think there's one coming up again, there was a Bitcoin fair kind of thing that they had here. So a lot of the vendors were here. They approached me about just accepting Bitcoin on our POS. We use a Shopify system and there's a Bitcoin plugin for it. I wasn't afraid of it or anything like that, and I just installed that, and we've been running it ever since that for the last couple of years.
What's your thoughts on Bitcoin for the future and that kind of, what personally?
Personally, I don't know. I mean, it's quite, relatively volatile. It can be up and down, percentage points every day, So I think it's here to stay, and we'll see where it goes.
Well, I think I need to go get some coffee and use some Bitcoin to buy it as well.
Okay, great talking to you.
Great. Yeah. Hey, thanks, Pete. I appreciate it.
And finally, it was the time for the moment of truth. We had found a place that was actually going to take Bitcoin. After a quick look at the menu, we decided on the Cool Fuel, which basically was like a nitro coffee that looked pretty good. And the wallet I'm using is called the Wallet of Satoshi. It's basically one of the most easy, user-friendly Lightning wallets that you can find. And for a $4.91 Canadian coffee, it was 3,226 sats. And it honestly was just as simple as scanning the QR code and clicking Pay Invoice. And literally within 2 or 3 seconds, we had paid for our coffee.
There it is. It's that simple. That's it. Paid with Bitcoin. We did it. Yeah.
So after 2 days crossing a border and an hour and a half of driving, finally we had used Bitcoin to buy something in real life. And let me tell you, this coffee tasted good, but it tasted even better paying for it with Bitcoin.
So, how'd that go?
It's really easy. Yeah. And exciting, yes. It's like living in the future.
Yeah, actually it is.
Well, that's how you use Bitcoin to buy something in real life.